Hello my fellow weirdos, my name's Marie McWilliams. Welcome back to my channel. For today's video I'm going to be talking to you about the 5 biggest mistakes that people make on their Bookstagram accounts so that you can avoid them in the future. So as I said, we're discussing the 5 big mistakes that I see on Bookstagram. Now if you're unfamiliar with my Bookstagram, I am Bookish Marie. I will leave it down below. I'm coming up on my 3-year anniversary here in the spring and I'm up around nearly 13,000 followers. And I know I'm not the biggest account in the world, but I'm quite proud of my little account. I think I've done pretty well. I'm actually starting to get paid for content. I've been repping for companies for a really long time. So yeah, I'm trying to say is I feel relatively qualified to help you guys with this. Pass on my advice, my experience to yourselves, and hopefully it'll be beneficial. The other Bookstagram videos I've done have gone down really, really well. I've got lots of requests. So if you have any specific questions or want any specific advice, please contact me. I answer every message here and on Instagram. DM me on Instagram is probably the best way, and I will give you the answers to the best of my ability. But okay, let's just get into it. Okay, in no particular order. Number 1. Posting and ghosting. Don't post if you know you're not going to be looking at your phone for hours afterwards. It is so important that you engage with your audience, especially when you've just put out new content. So what I see a lot of people doing is they post a picture and then they disappear and they think, that's it. I did it. I posted my thing for today. I asked them their question. Tomorrow I might like a couple and write back to them, or maybe the next day, or maybe next week, or whatever. And it ends up without that kind of engagement, people aren't going to continue to want to engage with you, because obviously it's meant to be a conversation. It's meant to be both sides. So if they are they're seeing your post and then they're asking you a question, or they're responding to your question and they don't get anything back, they're less likely to come back and post and like again. It's that simple. I said this all the time in the other video. Engagement. Engagement is so important. And the whole point of the Bookstagram community, and indeed all the Instagram communities, is that you are making connections, making friends. And you can't do that if you're just sort of yelling out into the ether and then disappearing, you know? And the way to make friends with people is to get to know them in the comment section, is to get to know them through your posts. And I've done that and made some really great friends that way. I've got some brilliant book recommendations that way. I've discovered new shops. This is just the way it's sort of, the whole point is it's social media. There's the word. It's the key there. So interact with your followers. Show them that they're important to you, that you appreciate that they've come to your page, that they've taken the trouble to like your picture, to respond to your question, to leave you a comment, to follow you in the first place. Show them that you really appreciate that. Because I genuinely really appreciate every one of my followers, and I want them to know that. And the best way to do that is to answer them, respond to them. You know, it's pretty simple, really. Number 2, posting sporadically. Every time I say that word, it makes me think of Clueless.
Be seeing you.
Yeah, I hope not sporadically.
Sorry, had to. Posting sporadically. People have a tendency to be all over the place with how often they post and when they post. And that is okay as long as you're not looking to kind of grow. But if you do want to grow your Bookstagram, or indeed any Instagram, consistency and regularity is incredibly important, because people aren't going to notice you if you're not regularly in their feeds. So I try to post every day. I try to post at the same time every day, roughly. And I've worked it out that evening times is best for me after dinner, because not only is my daughter in bed and it gives me the kind of time and freedom to actually do it, but also because the time difference, my audience is mostly split between the UK and America, and it means that the time difference, both of those groups of people are up and will be able to see my picture. So that's my thought process behind it. But I mean, it's up to yourselves. It can be based on what's convenient for you when your audience is awake. And I'm not trying to say that I'm not trying to put pressure on you. It shouldn't be pressure. It shouldn't be like a job, you know. If you need to take a break, or you're sick or something like that, and you can't post for a couple of days, of course, don't post for a couple of days, but try to keep that to a minimum. Try to post every day if you can. It really will make the difference to your growth and your engagement. Number 3, not reaching out. That's a big one. I think that people can be sometimes a little afraid of putting themselves out there. Now, it is easier on social media than it is in person, and I think the wonderful thing about social media platforms, particularly things like Instagram where everyone's very friendly, is it gives people who are maybe slightly more introverted an opportunity to make friends without that awkward kind of interaction in person. But if you're not reaching out, if you're just sticking with your own little page, then you're never going to make those connections. You're not going to make those friends. So go to other people's pages, go to their posts. If they've taken a beautiful picture, tell them. If they look great in that dress, tell them. If you have a question or advice, don't be afraid to ask another Instagrammer or Bookstagrammer, someone that has a page that you admire, that you like, that you would maybe love to be someday. Go up to them and say, do you have any tips? How do you take your pictures? How do you do this? Ask them for advice. And 9 times out of 10, they're going to respond to you because they appreciate people reaching out to them. That's why they're there too. And the ones that don't, oh well, you're no worse off. You haven't learned anything, you haven't lost anything. I think that you're also missing out on not only making connections and getting advice, but you're missing out on collaborations, opportunities. You can ask somebody for something as long as you're not doing it in a rude way. And if they say no, they say no. Nobody's worse off. But what I've done, for example, many, many times is I have asked, as a writer, I ask for artists to collaborate with me and create pieces of art to go with the writing that I've done. And I've asked artists who've said no plenty of times, because they're busy people, they've got jobs to do, they can't maybe afford to work on something for free when they have all these commissions they need to do, and that's fair enough. And I just politely say, thank you very much, no problem, thank you for getting back to me. But there's no harm in doing that. And a lot of the time, people are really excited to collaborate with someone. They're really excited to get to know someone, to work on something for the fun of it rather than, for business purposes. So what I'm saying is there's no harm in asking. Just reaching out. If you have an idea that you would like to run past someone or you want to collaborate with them, do a shout out for shout out, maybe have a read along together, a photo challenge, a group hashtag, whatever. Reach out, ask people, get a group together of fellow smaller bookstagrammers and start a little collective and help each other out. This is all about community, and reaching out is how you're going to make those connections, so don't be afraid to do so. Number 4, this is a biggie, guys. Copying. The Bookstagram community, being a lover of books, copyright, copying, ripping people off is a very sensitive area, and there's been plenty of rows on Bookstagram, on Booktube about companies ripping off other artists, other writers, the whole fan art and fan product stuff, where's the line between an homage to and just blatantly ripping them off, etc. This is quite a sensitive subject, and it applies to people's pictures as well. So first of all, don't ever post someone else's picture without crediting them. It is perfectly acceptable for you to post someone else's picture. If you think their picture's beautiful and it goes with your feed and you want to share it and you want to share that page with someone, that's a really nice thing to do. But make sure that in the caption, you say, this photo is by X, Y, and Z. If you're just posting other pictures and not doing that, you're essentially claiming those pictures to have been taken by you. And that is not okay. It's tantamount to stealing of intellectual property type thing. Someone worked very hard on that image and they deserve the credit. It's the same for style of pictures as well, in a way. So if somebody has taken a picture that's very unique and you want to kind of replicate it and do a version of your own, and I have done this, I would say this photo was inspired by this person's image, because I want to give them the kudos, the recognition for coming up with the idea, and then I've taken it and I've put my own spin on it. And of course that picture is my picture and I've worked hard on it, but I want to acknowledge that it was inspired or based on somebody else's work. So what I'm trying to say is, if you're just going to rip other people off, you're not going to get along in the community. I have seen accounts close because they were just stealing other people's pictures. And the community is quite a tight-knit one, and people will notice. I have had people tag me saying, this photo belongs to Bookish Marie, this isn't your picture, you haven't credited her, why are you using it? Because we will all stick up for each other, and I've done it as well. I've been like, that image is actually such a person's image. I know for a fact because I follow them. Why are you posting it as if it's yours? Because people will just blatantly steal other people's content to create their own page in the hopes that they'll get enough followers for, I don't know, free stuff, money, whatever they're doing it for, which is not the real reason to be on here in the first place. So yeah, don't do it, guys. Okay, don't be that person. Even captions, I see people crediting people for captions like, I couldn't think of anything today, but this person came up with this game, or this person came up with this hashtag, and you credit that person with it. And it's just a great way because it all feeds back. People will start to credit you. People will start to say, oh, this caption or this game was created by this person, and then it all comes back to you. So it's a community. We're all helping each other out, and we're all giving each other credit where credit is due. And then number 5, this is the most important one for me. Posting things that you think other people want rather than what you want. So I see a lot of accounts that are trying to, are probably taking inspiration from accounts, but they're taking it too literally. They're like, oh, this is what gets likes, so I'll do that. These books are the ones that people are talking about, so that's what I'll read. That's the one that I'll feature. You should be able to show what you're interested in, because this is the whole point. We want to know, what are the books that you love, that inspire you, that you want to tell us about, whether they're big giant authors that are going to get the most searches or not. It could be little indie authors. We want to hear about it. We want to see you and get to know you. And if you're just posting what you think other people will like, what you think is going to get you the best results in the search because, oh, that book's just been released, so it's really popular, but I don't actually like fantasy or whatever, there's no point in doing it then. You're publicising a book that you don't particularly care about. You're reading a book and buying a book that you don't want to, just so you can take a picture of it. It doesn't make any sense. So with everything, with the books that you're posting pictures of, with the photographs you're taking, the style, the aesthetic, the captions, let you shine through. Be yourself, because that is what is going to get you people coming to your account, people with a like-minded attitude, people with a similar style, people with similar tastes, and then you get to make connections with people and they'll be able to recommend books and authors you've never heard of. You can do the same to them. This is how the community works at its best. If everybody posts the same books in the same way, with the same style pictures and the same props, with the same hashtags and the same captions, oh God, how boring life would be. It would be pointless. We want you to post what you're passionate about, what you love. Tell us something that we've never heard before, something about you, something interesting. Tell us about those weird little indie authors that we've never heard about, or those cool little artists that have just started that you've discovered. Whatever it is, just let you shine through, because that is why people are going to follow you. They're going to know it's genuine. They're going to connect with you and with your tastes, with your style, with your personality. And when I follow Bookstagrammers, you'll notice if you go in to look at the people I'm following, I follow people who have accounts that are completely different from mine. Bright colours, lots of fantasy and young adult, things that I don't read. But with those people, I've connected with them on a different level. I like their captions. I like their style. I think they're funny. They're really nice. When I've responded to them, they've responded to me. I've got to know them and I've connected with them on a personal level. It's not just about, oh, there's a pretty picture like. It's about making these connections. It's about engaging with the people in a real way. And there's no way you can do that if you're pretending to be someone you're not. That's simple, guys. So that's it. That is my 5 big Bookstagram mistakes to avoid, guys. So let me know, do you have any things that you see Bookstagrammers doing that you think, ooh, no. Post it down. Let's give each other a bit of advice. If you've got advice about things that you should do, whatever, let's put it down below. Let me know what your Bookstagram handles are. I'll go check you out, put it down, and connect with me, guys. Give me a like, give me a comment, hit subscribe, hit the bell button. Let's get to know each other. Let's be a community on here, just like on Bookstagram. But that's me for now, guys. Bye.